Recently, we were on a RV trip to Ludington, Michigan. We visited the RV resort known as the Vacation Station, and about 33 miles east of the vacation station in Ludington is Idlewild, Michigan. We wanted to make sure we visited this wonderful, rich history city while we were up in northwestern Michigan. What we learned about Idlewild, Michigan is that it holds a significant place in African American history. It's a very prominent vacation destination and entertainment hub during the era of segregation in the United States. The history of Idlewild showcases the resilience, creativity, and vibrant culture of the African American community. We learned while we were there that Idlewild began to develop in the early 20th century when African Americans from nearby cities, primarily Detroit and Chicago, sought refuge from racial discrimination and the limited opportunities available to them. The community originally consisted of a small number of African American owned resorts and vacation homes around Idlewild Lake, which attracted visitors from across the country. By the 1920s, Idlewild had gained popularity as a resort town, particularly among African Americans. And due to the restrictive racial policies and segregation, African Americans were often denied access to mainstream vacation destinations. We learned that Idlewild provided a safe haven where they could relax, socialize, and, enjoy entertainment without the threat of discrimination. Over time, the community grew rapidly, with entrepreneurs and investors establishing businesses, resorts, clubs, and entertainment venues to cater to the increasing number of visitors. We learned that Idlewild experienced its heyday in the 1940s to the 1960s. During this time, it became known as the Black Eden or the Black Mecca, and it attracted a range of African American celebrities, including musicians, actors, and athletes. It was renowned for its lively nightlife, featuring prominent jazz, blues, and gospel performances. Legendary artists such as Della Reese, Jackie Wilson, Sarah Vaughan, Billie Holiday, and Aretha Franklin graced the stages of Idlewild clubs and theaters. In addition to entertainment, Idlewild offered a range of recreational activities. The community boasted a golf course, swimming beaches, a casino, and various water sports on the nearby lakes. It also had a strong emphasis on education, with the establishment of a summer school for African American children and annual writers' workshop that attracted accomplished Black writers. And over time, the advent of the civil rights movement and the subsequent desegregation of American society, the need for segregation, vacation destinations quickly diminished. Idlewild gradually declined in the 60s and 70s as African Americans gained greater access to mainstream resorts and leisure facilities. The community faced economic challenges, with many businesses closing down and the population dwindled. You'll kind of see that today as we're driving around. But despite its decline, we learned that Idlewild remains an important landmark in African American history. Efforts have been made to preserve its heritage, and there are ongoing initiatives to revitalize the community and restore some of its historic buildings. Today, visitors can still explore Idlewild's rich history through the Idlewild African American Chamber of Commerce, the Paradise Club Historic Museum, and various cultural events and festivals. Idlewild serves as a reminder of the resilience and cultural contributions of the African American community during a time of racial segregation and limited opportunities. It stands as a testament to the power of community, creativity, and the pursuit of joy and leisure in the face of adversity.
So, this is one on Denver. Mm-hmm. This goes back to the gold mining days. Mm-hmm. You heard of Nicodemus, Kansas?
No.
First black town in U.S., 1877. Mm-hmm. It's the first time that African Americans voluntarily migrated within the country.
Got it.
And they went to Nicodemus, Kansas. Mm-hmm. it's a lot of sun in Nicodemus, right, in Kansas.
Okay.
So they continued to go west because it lacked water. Many landed in Colorado. In Denver, the largest population of African Americans in Colorado Springs was the second.
No way.
But in this history, you had black cowboys, you had miners, present day. You know the black rodeo?
I think I have seen that guy. Yeah.
This right here.
Yeah.
Got a big dance company by this lady here in Denver, Cleo Robinson.
I know no Colorado history.
There's me when I was in Denver.
Awesome.
These are all the chairmen of the department at Metropolitan State University of Denver.
Wow.
So we ended sort of with that.
That is beautiful, man.
And even got some of the politicians.
Yeah.
This is my co-author of this book here. So this book here I did myself, Luana Larson, and the Black American West Museum. It's the only kind in the U.S.
Oh man, you got it. Yeah, you got to get to your agent, like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
So this one here is this is my baby here. This is on Chicken Bone Beach. This actually is older than Idlewild.
Oh, Chicken Bone.
1900. They opened up a section right off the boardwalk.
Yeah.
Just for African Americans. So this kind of takes you through the story of that.
Are these books for sale on Amazon or anything?
Yeah,
Okay.
we better here. This is what Atlantic City used to look like.
Wow, booming.
Yeah. And so we go through, they had their own beach captain, lifeguards, everything. Then they go through some of the rules, right? Women couldn't wear this. Right?
Right.
So they letting her know.
Right.
See them pointing at the sign there?
Yeah, they let her know. Very nicely, they're letting her know.
Okay, and the thing about this is we named people, right? So it took a long time.
Yeah,
And then
that's
so what happened is, like a lot of people say Sammy Davis Jr. was here, but he wasn't. He would go to Detroit, but he never made it here. But in Atlantic City, at Club Harlem, which was bigger than the Apollo, believe it or not.
Wow.
They had shows. So look at this. There's Larry Steele. Who was that right there? Nat King Cole.
Wow.
There's Sammy Davis Jr.
Wow.
Right?
Pictures of
So what happened is, during the day, they would perform. During the day they would do rehearsals. When they finished rehearsals, they hit the beach.
Yeah.
Because these shows were only at night.
Yeah.
So this is on Kentucky Avenue.
Man.
This lady right here, she was a professional ballet. Her name is Joan Meyer Brown. And so she worked with Larry Steele, helped train some of these dancers. And then she's from Philly. Went back to Philly, started her own dance company called Philadanco. That still exists today.
No way. In Philly.
Philadelphia.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
West Philadelphia. That's her again.
Beautiful, man. That's beautiful history.
This lady here, Sam Cooke was after her. She's still alive.
No way.
She lives in New York.
Wow.
I just got off the phone with her like yesterday.
Oh, wow.
She's in her 80s.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
She's right now fighting. She only has 2 more chemo sections because she had breast cancer, but still going strong. Let's see who else. Okay, here. This is interesting. This is Arthur Bragg's. That's Carleen Gill. Now come here for a second. That's Carleen Gill.
Wow.
So many of the same showgirls and dancers. That's Betty Jo, the one who was with Sam Cooke.
Yeah.
That's her.
Okay.
That's Ricky Ford.
Wow.
Okay, many of the same dancers and showgirls that work with Arthur Braggs, they work with Larry Steele, who was a bigger producer in Atlantic City at Club Harlem.
Wow.
Yeah. So what happens is they're doing a show because see, these shows started in Idlewild in this weekend, Memorial Day weekend, and the last show was Labor Day weekend.
Oh, wow.
When the shows ended in Idlewild, they went on tours.
Nice.
So here, this came from the Chicago Defender. This, I think, from the Chicago Defender. So here are the Four Tops. Lon Fontaine, that guy over there, right there, that's standing there in the white.
Yes.
That's him.
So these shows were great. This was great promo all summer, and then they go on tour.
Right.
Man.
So what happened is, in '61, they doing a pre-New Year's Eve dance at the Basin Street South in Boston. They performed for 3 nights. The 4th night, Lon Fontaine wakes up and he goes and hollers to Duke of the Four Tops, Duke, wake up, the club's on fire, the club's on fire. Yeah. So, in this event here, see, the headliner was Arthur Priceopp. There's the Four Tops, there's Lon Fontaine, there's the Fiesta Downs and the Bragettes. Cast of 40. Costumes, musical scores, musicians, everything is totally destroyed.
Oh, no.
Only thing they had was the bus that they traveled by.
No way.
The world thought that was the end.
Wow.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
Because Arthur Braggs, before he goes to Mexico and see these Mexican dancers, the Leon Escobar dancers, you heard of Catherine Dunham, right? This is a Mexican choreographer that mixed Mexican dance styles with Catherine Dunham styles. And they dances were through stories.
Wow.
So before they go there, because, see, this guy right here, he owned the Basin Street South. This brother, he was a numbers man. They hire a private jet, fly to Atlantic City to see one of Larry Steele's shows.
Wow.
This is in Atlantic City.
Okay.
That was amazing.
Chicken Bone Island.
Chicken Bone Beach.
Which means
This is going to be with us. But what the Michigan Chronicle also did was to say, when the Idlewild Review is leaving Idlewild, they headed to Robert's Show Lounge in Chicago, right?
traffic.
Club de Lisa. And then it would say, if you look in the Chicago Defender, it would say, next they're headed to Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So they toured everywhere.
Man.
Again, the show started, this place opened up Memorial Day weekend and closed Labor Day weekend.
That's a nice
Once
run.
it closed, they toured. The real name of it was Missouri Avenue Beach. But the story behind it is because, this is during Jim Crow. This is during the Green Book era, right?
Yeah.
So most people from D.C., Delaware, Philadelphia, etc., traveling to Atlantic City, they packed their own lunch. Many of them fried chicken. So what happened is the locals, when they would clean the beach, they found chicken bones in the sand.
Yeah.
That's where that nickname came from.
Now let me ask you: is there another one that's called? Is it Harbor Bay? Bay Harbor?
There is
that
about
New York area?
you're talking about
I thought I saw something on.
I'm drawing a blank on the name. There is a black resort that was in New York. Upstairs, I'm drawing a blank on the name right
It
now.
was Bay Harbor or Harbor Bay or something.
There must have been about 30 of these places.
Okay.
Right now, there's about 10 that still exist.
Okay.
Chicken Bone Beach,
Okay.
all they got is a marker on the beach now.
Oh, that's too bad.
Okay.
Kentucky Avenue, where all the entertainment used to be. Oh,
Man.
in South Carolina, you heard of Myrtle Beach. Well, about 3 miles from Myrtle Beach was a black resort called Atlantic Beach. They fighting off developers today.
Wow.
They're surrounded by big hotels.
Yeah.
Then there's in Maryland, there's 2. Highland Beach, which is the oldest, 1893. The Douglas brothers purchased a house and land for Frederick Douglass, but of course he died in
Was this in
1895.
the Eastern Shore area? I went to school in the Eastern Shore.
And then there's another one called Cars and Sparrows Beach.
Okay.
And so I'm in contact with one of the surviving relatives that wants to do a history. She wants me to work with her on to do a history.
Man.
So there's several of these places. There's a online encyclopedia entry called blackpass.org. The B in black is capitalized and the P in pass is capitalized. It's so Black Pass, like one word, .org, right?
Okay.
And then look up my name. There's about 10 of them. I wrote about 10 different black resorts.
We'll check on that.
We definitely want to do
Yeah.
that.
That's good to know.
You know Black Bottom history at all?
Of course, I was born in
Okay,
Black
'cause he's-
Bottom.
He's born,
That's
that's right.
right.
Yeah,
That's what they say.
yeah.
Okay, you know where Martin Luther King Jr. High School is?
Yes, oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that
Lafayette.
used to be called Fort Street.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Okay,
I was born right there, like almost where the front door of Martin Luther King, because it was Black Bottom, right?
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a cemetery there,
Yes,
right?
yes.
I was born right there.
Wow.
'Cause you got
Lived there
Elm.
till I was 4 years old.
Man, that's amazing.
I was going to say
Elmwood, yeah, Elmwood.
Amwood Cemetery.
It's still there. It's big, too. It's still there, yeah.
Some of my relatives are buried there.
Wow. We got a few
Is
there.
that what pulled up to Elmwood?
I think
Yes.
so. Yeah, we got a couple of, because it wasn't one of these cemeteries only where black people could really be.
It's one next to
It's one next to
Elmwood,
it,
too.
Yeah.
Only black
And
people.
in Elmwood, even the cemeteries. They got cemeteries up here. You know, on Foreman Road, that
passed it.
cemetery.
We passed that one.
That's the only all-black cemetery. But there's one in Cherry Valley when you're driving down US 10. Okay. They got a section. Even the cemeteries were segregated.
That's crazy, man.
Right.
That is crazy.
Right. And not just in Michigan.
Right. Oh, yeah.
over.
All over.
Right.
Man, we could stay here all day. I'm serious because we have so much. Do you know Jamon Jordan? He's
He's the official historian of Detroit.
Man, I know him, man. He that guy is great.
He's
We went on one of his tours, and
in the Detroit Historical Museum.
Yes.
Yes. Well,
Yes.
fantastic, wasn't it?
yeah, because
He
he
missed when I went. He missed the Gotham Hotel.
oh
And I said, man, you forgot the Gotham.
oh
So right now he is leading the charge because once they tore down the Gotham, they said it was for urban renewal, but nothing ever happened to that land. So he's working with
he showed us that on the tour.
he's working with
Yeah.
the mayor to put a historical marker where the
Yes.
Gotham used to be.
Yeah, he pointed that out to us because that
All
land
of this,
it's all built around. Yeah.
all of this here, this guy here, he's responsible for that.
Wow.
Arthur Braggs out of Saginaw, right?
Wow.
He owned the Gap. He had a skating rink. He had a restaurant. He was a numbers man.
To say, what the Cuddy
Okay.
brand?
Yeah, man.
He came and invested in Idlewild, but he used to hang out at the Gotham in the Flame Show Bar in Detroit. That's where he met Della Reese.
Nice.
He met Della Reese.
She lived
They
in
started
Detroit.
going together. Okay.
know she
And he met her through this guy here, Joe Ziggy Johnson.
Man.
He was the announcer and the showman at the Flame Show Bar.
Man.
He also had, right there on Woodward, right there by Detroit Institute of Art.
Yes.
Down a little bit, and there's a street called Ferry Street.
Yes, we went up there.
Okay. He had a dance school there.
Wow.
These dancers here, these Braggettes, he recruited them.
Man.
They were all teenagers.
Man.
For Braggs to bring them here.
Yeah.
All right, they had just graduated out of high school. He had to get their parents' permission.
Oh.
Joe Ziggy Johnson was like their godfather, protector.
Yeah. So he was like a Barry Gordy kind of situation. Yeah.
And all of this is before Barry Gordy.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Della Reese. I know she lived in Detroit, but is she from Detroit?
Yep.
Okay.
Born
okay.
in
that's
Detroit.
Man.
Yeah.
Man. Oh, man.
All of these, born in Detroit.
Yeah. Fort Thompson.
Jackie Wilson, born in Detroit.
Man.
All of them ended up working with, except for Della Reese, Motown.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I just hate about.
Including Little Stevie. Now, he never made it up here.
Yeah.
Okay, but they called him, you remember, he was born in Saginaw?
Yeah.
And they used to call him Little Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
right?
Yep. Yeah.
He was underage.
Yeah.
So he never made it here, but some of the literature say he was here. He wasn't.
Ah, I see what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of these buildings mysteriously get burned down.
Burnt down,
You know what I'm
or
saying?
what do you call it? Decapitated?
Yeah.
Dilapidated?
Dilapidated.
Yeah.
Dilapidated. yeah, man. It's because that's pieces of history, man. That's why we want to go to this island and see the flamingo.
Yeah.
Williams Island.
Williams Island. So
Yes.
here's the Flamingo Club.
Okay.
Now, here's the thing. They had entertainment in the Flamingo Club, but he did not have the big name stars that Arthur Bragg's had in the Paradise Gardens. So you want to hit Paradise Gardens too.
Okay.
That's where Joe Lindsay lives. You heard of that name?
I can't say I'm familiar, no. No, not Joe.
Okay, I'll tell you how to get there from here.
Okay.
But this is what this place looked like.
Oh, man.
See all those cars?
See, the thing is, man.
And when you see the island, here's the thing. When you see the island, I want you to remember this picture and say, how in the hell did they get all these cars here?
Yeah. See, we can definitely imagine these things, man. Because I want to go over there. We want to set foot on this, man. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the last thing. So right across the street from this, okay, here's where the adults were hanging out.
Okay.
Right across the street, another Detroiter, Polk's skating rink. That's where their children, the kids. So you had simultaneous histories happening where on one side of the road was for adults, on the other side was for teens.
Wow. Flamingo Club. This is about 33 miles east of Ludington, where we are RVing. This is in Yates Township. It's pretty amazing, man. It's so beautiful. Yes.
That's Paradise Lake.
Yes.
That's where the Paradise Club was at.
Man.
That's what you saw, the grocery store.
Yes.
But now it's something else, and it looks like it's open. No, he got a lock there.
Okay.
I would otherwise encourage you to go in and say hello.
Yeah.
Next door to him was the hotel.
Man. Okay.
So she owned the grocery store, hotel, and then the Paradise Club.
Wow.
And most of the rest of this was like for parking.
For parking. Wow. All them cars.
Right.
Man.
So the Paradise Club was right off of the lake.
Very
Beautiful. That's amazing.
Right. It all started because they built that house.
The blue.
Nice.
Got
The blue
it.
house. Got
Okay.
it.
They collected these stones from all around, as far back as Big Rapids,
Big Rapids. Wow.
and brought them here, and then had that house built.
And it's standing.
It's still
This
standing.
street right here, okay, because this was Paradise Gardens, they call this Paradise Path.
Paradise Path.
In your book, you'll see this street and a bed of flowers right in the center, right? So people will walk down. It was beautiful because she was also president of the Idlewild Garden Club.
Oh.
If you go further up that way, you'll find streets with names like Generosity, Righteousness, right? She named those streets because that's how people felt when they came here.
Yeah, what's her name again?
Leela Wilson.
Leela Wilson. Yeah.
That's his vehicle, but he lives right over there.
Okay.
Oh,
His name is Joe Lindsay.
Okay.
See where the cars and stuff?
Yes.
That's he lived there. So
Okay.
He owns this. He owns this. Yeah. Some of the houses.
I love this.
Did you say you lived in Ludington? Oh, you were in Ludington?
Yeah, we are RVing
Okay,
over
so he was the only black entrepreneur in Ludington, Michigan. He had a
there. No way.
cleaners.
Wow.
He just sold it not
That
too
is
long ago.
amazing. Man. I love this history,
and I'm
man.
glad he purchased it.
I'm glad he purchased all this. Yes.
Right.
Very
I
nice.
love it, man.
I love it.
So you going to look at your property?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
want to show him.
Okay.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. We ran into you. We would just happen to be down there looking around.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah, it's so
very
much.
Now here's the other thing. When you drive down this street here, let me see. It's gonna be to your right, and look to the right. You'll see a wooden marker that somebody put up. That's where the Liberty Hall for Marcus Garvey's
I'm definitely going.
Right.
Yeah, we're gonna go down there right now.
We were just saying this is the best tour.
Yeah, this has been the best,
Glad
yeah.
we came to the
Yeah.
historic place.
Yeah.